The rain hammered against the fire escape like 1,000 tiny accusations. But I didn't hear it. Not until the moment my eyes snapped open to the silhouette hovering over me. Brandon's breath was ragged, his fingers ghosting the edge of my pillow. So close I could feel the heat of them without touch. And in that suspended heartbeat, I saw the truth etched in his face. Love, raw and forbidden, spilling over like the storm outside. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered to my sleeping form, voice cracking like thunder. "I love you, Nick, and it's killing me." I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs, pretending to be lost in dreams while the world I'd built. Straight-A engineering major, weekend bar hops with the brothers, that easy denial of anything deeper, shattered in the space between his exhale and mine. Brandon pulled back, wiping his eyes with the heel of his hand. But it was too late. The air between us hummed with the weight of what he'd almost done, what I'd almost let myself feel. And just like that, in the dim glow of our shared Brooklyn walk-up, everything I'd buried clawed its way to the surface, demanding I face it or break. That night blurred into the kind of hangover that starts in your soul, not your skull. I'd bolted upright the second Brandon shuffled back to his side of the room, mumbling some bullshit about a nightmare, but the lie hung there thicker than the humidity seeping through the walls. Our apartment was a fifth-floor shoebox in Bushwick, the kind of place where dreams went to die or get born, depending on the rent check. Exposed brick, a kitchenette that doubled as a laundry hamper, and two twin beds shoved against opposite walls like they were afraid to touch. We'd been roommates since freshman year at NYU. Brandon with his easy grin and surfer boy build from summers in Jersey. Me, Nicholas Hale, the lanky kid from Ohio who thought city lights could outshine small-town ghosts. By morning, the rain had tapered to a drizzle, turning the streets below into slick mirrors reflecting neon signs from the bodega across the way. I lay there staring at the water stain on the ceiling, replaying his whisper on loop. "I love you, Nick." Not bro or dude, just Nick, like it was a prayer he'd been holding too long. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text from Sarah, my on-again girlfriend from high school. All heart emojis and miss you. Babe, visit soon? Guilt twisted in my gut like a bad burrito. Sarah was safe, predictable, the girl who'd held my hand through Dad's funeral 2 years back. But Brandon, he was the sparkler to her steady candle, the one who dragged me to underground poetry slams in the village, who blasted Springsteen at 2 a.m. while we crammed for midterms, his voice harmonizing low and rough like it was meant for me alone. I rolled over, feigning sleep until he stirred. The mattress creaked as he swung his legs out, padding barefoot to the bathroom. Through the thin door, I heard the shower kick on, steam curling under the frame like secrets escaping. My mind raced. Was this a one-off? Some drunken confession after too many IPAs at McSorley's? Or had it been building? Those lingering glances in the gym mirror. The way he'd sling an arm around my shoulders and let it stay a beat too long? I wasn't blind. I'd questioned things before. Late nights scrolling Reddit threads about, am I bi? But admitting it? That was a one-way ticket to losing everything. The roommate who felt like family. The facade that kept Mom from asking why I hadn't proposed to Sarah yet. When he emerged, towel slung low on his hips, water dripping from his chest hair, I sat up, rubbing my eyes like I'd just woken. "Rough night, man?" I asked, voice casual, but my throat felt lined with sandpaper. Brandon paused, towel in hand, his green eyes flicking to mine, wary, like a deer sensing the hunter. "Yeah, a weird dream," You sleep okay? Fine. But coffee? We moved through the ritual like always. Me grinding beans in the ancient French press. Him flipping pancakes on the hot plate. The sizzle filling the silence. But today, every brush of elbows felt electric. Every laugh forced. He caught me staring once, mid-bite, and I covered with a joke about his bedhead looking like a rejected Muppet. He chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. By noon, we were out the door, me to a study group at the library, him to his shift bartending at that dive in the East Village. Catch you later, he said, clapping my shoulder, his palm warm and lingering. The library was a tomb of whispers and fluorescent hum, but my notes blurred into nonsense. I love you. What the hell did that even mean? Was it the beer talking? Or had I been oblivious to the shift? Memories flooded. That time in sophomore year when we'd crashed on the same couch after a party, his head on my thigh, breath steady against my jeans. The road trip to the Finger Lakes, windows down, his hand drumming on my knee to the beat of Fleetwood Mac. I'd laughed it off, chalked it up to bromance. But now it felt like foreshadowing. My phone lit up again. Sarah, FaceTiming. I ducked into a stairwell, her pixelated smile beaming from Ohio. Nick, God, you look tired. Everything okay? Yeah. Just midterms kicking my ass. Another lie. We talked about her new job at the library. Her roommate's cat that hated everyone. The ring she hinted at with that sparkle in her voice. Love you, she said at the end, and I echoed it back, the words tasting like ash. Hanging up, I slid down the wall, head in hands. Who was I kidding? This wasn't just about Brandon, it was about me, the kid who'd fled Cincinnati after Dad's heart attack, vowing to reinvent in the city that never slept. But reinvention meant facing the parts of yourself you duct-taped shut. Dusk fell early that November, the sky bruising purple over the skyline. I wandered the blocks near campus, past falafel trucks and street artists hawking portraits, until my feet led me to Washington Square Park. Jazz buskers wailed under the arch. Lovers tangled on benches, and for a moment, I let myself imagine Brandon and me, not as roommates, but as us. His laugh in my ear, his body fitting against mine without apology. The thought sent heat pooling low, equal parts thrill and terror. Gay, bi, labels felt like cages, but the pull, undeniable. Back at the apartment, the door was ajar, Brandon home early, takeout bags rustling from the kitchen. Stir fry? He called, voice light, but when I stepped in, he froze, chopsticks midair. His eyes were red-rimmed, like he'd been crying again, and on the coffee table sat an open photo album, pages splayed to a picture of us at Coney Island last summer. Arms slung around each other, cotton candy smeared on grins, the cyclone looming behind like a promise of chaos. You left this out, I said, nodding at it, my pulse thundering. He snapped it shut too fast. Yeah, digging through old stuff. Nostalgic bullshit. I dropped my bag, the room shrinking around us. The rain had picked up again, drumming a frantic rhythm. Brandon, I started, but he cut me off, standing abruptly. Look, Nick, about last night, you don't have to explain, but I wanted him to. Needed him to. He raked a hand through his damp hair, pacing the worn rug. I was wasted. Said dumb shit. Forget it, but I couldn't. The air crackled, heavy with unsaid truths. I stepped closer, close enough to smell his soap, cedar and rain. What if I don't want to forget? His breath hitched, eyes locking on mine, searching. Time stretched, taut as a wire. Then, in a rush, he closed the gap, his mouth crashing into mine. Not gentle, not tentative, but desperate, like he'd been starving. Hands fisting my shirt, pulling me flush, the taste of soy and salt on his tongue. Kissed back, hard, the world tilting as doubt dissolved into heat. His stubble scraped my jaw, fingers digging into my hips, and for those endless seconds, it was just us, raw, real, alive. When we broke apart, gasping, his forehead pressed to mine. Fuck, Nick. I've wanted that since orientation week. Me too, I admitted, the words tumbling free, unlocking something deep. But what now? He pulled back, smile tentative but bright. Now, we figure it out. Together, that night, we didn't sleep. Curled on his bed, bodies tangled under a threadbare quilt, we talked, whispered confessions in the dark. His ex, a high school fling in Jersey that ended in screams and slammed doors when his dad found out. My buried curiosities, the porn tabs I'd closed too quick, the ache after dad died that I'd filled with anything but feeling. Laughter mixed with tears, his head on my chest, my fingers tracing the freckles across his shoulders. Felt like coming home, like the city had been waiting for this. But dawn brought reality. Classes, jobs, the world outside that didn't bend for us. As we dressed, stealing kisses between zippers, I caught my reflection, eyes bright, cheeks flushed. Alive. This is gonna be messy, I warned, lacing my sneakers. Brandon grinned, that crooked one that undid me. Good. Messy's where the good stories live. Little did I know, ours was just beginning, and the plot twists, they hit like a freight train. Winter clamped down on New York like a jealous lover, frosting the windows of our walk-up and turning every breath into a visible promise. December brought finals, fairy lights strung crooked across the quad, and us, Nicholas and Brandon, stealing moments in the cracks of chaos. A quick fumble in the stairwell after his shift, his cold hands warming against my skin. Lazy Sundays binging the Office reruns, his commentary funnier than the show. My head in his lap as snow piled outside. It was intoxicating, this secret bloom, romance wrapped in the everyday grind of ramen and rent. We kept it quiet, of course. NYU's campus buzzed with rainbow flags and pride parades, but coming out, that was a personal earthquake. Aftershocks rippling to family, friends, futures. Brandon joked about it over eggnog-spiked coffee. I'm not hiding, Nick. Just selective broadcasting. But I saw the shadows in his eyes, the way he'd tense when his phone lit up with calls from home. His folks were old-school Italian. Dad a cop in Newark. Mom the rosary-clutching type who'd whisper prayers for that phase to pass. Me, Ohio roots ran deep. Mom remarried to a Baptist deacon who quoted Leviticus at dinner. Sarah's family the salt-of-the-earth farmers who'd expect a white picket fence by spring. I told her we were taking a break after Thanksgiving, blaming distance. But the truth gnawed. Every I love you to her now felt like theft from Brandon. We'd video called once, her tears blurring the screen, and I'd hung up lighter but guilty, like I'd cheated on more than just our history. Christmas loomed, a double-edged sword. Brandon was headed to Jersey for the holiday, me to Cincinnati. 2 weeks without you, he'd groaned one night, tracing patterns on my back as we lay spent in the dark. Gonna be torture. Think of the makeup sex, I teased, nipping his earlobe. He laughed, but his grip tightened, like he was memorizing me. The send-off was at our spot, a hole-in-the-wall taqueria in Williamsburg, tacos dripping and tequila flowing. Our crew showed Mia, the theater major with purple streaks who eyed us suspiciously, Jake, Brandon's bartending buddy, oblivious as ever. Laughter roared over margaritas, but under the table, Brandon's knee pressed mine, a silent anchor. As the night wound down, Mia pulled me aside in the alley, smoke curling from her cigarette. You two seem different. Spill. I shrugged, heart pounding. Just roommates being roommates. She arched a brow, unconvinced. Roommates don't look at each other like that. Be careful, Nick. Hearts break easy in this city. Her words echoed on the subway home, the train rattling like my nerves. In bed, Brandon's arms around me felt like armor and Achilles' heel combined. Promise you'll call? He murmured, lips brushing my neck. Every night, and I meant it. Jersey hit him hard. His text started sunny. Mom's lasagna slays. Miss your burnt toast. But frayed by day 3. Dad grilled me about that gay roommate. Laughed it off. But fuck. I paced our empty apartment, the silence deafening without his chaos. My own flight was hell. Mom's hug at the airport tight but probing. Sarah called, said you're distant. Everything all right? Honey. Fine. Ma. School stress. Lie number infinity. Cincinnati was a time warp. Snow-dusted lawns. Church steeples piercing gray skies. The scent of pine and pot roast. Sarah showed up unannounced on Christmas Eve. Poinsettia in hand. Her smile brittle. Thought we could talk. We walked the neighborhood. Lights twinkling on colonials. Her hand slipping into mine like old habit. I miss us, Nick. This break. It's not you. Guilt clawed deeper. Sarah. Word stuck. How do you say I've fallen for my roommate? The one with calloused hands and a laugh that shakes you loose? She stopped under a street lamp, eyes glistening. Is it someone else? The question hung. A guillotine. It's me. Figuring shit out. Half-truth. But it bought time. She nodded, hurt etching lines I'd put there, and we parted with a hug that felt like goodbye. Back in the apartment on the 27th, Brandon crashed through the door at midnight, duffel thudding, face storm gray. Nick, one word, and he was on me, kiss fierce, hands frantic, like he'd stored up 2 weeks of want. We tumbled to the floor, coats half off, the rug burning my knees as he mapped me with lips and teeth. Missed you, he gasped, voice wrecked. So fucking much, after, wrapped in sheets that smelled of us. He spilled. The family dinner where his uncle's fag joke landed like a slap. Dad's silent stare over cannoli. Mom's whispered pray on it. Son. I almost told them. About us. But I chickened out. Pride swelled. Tangled with fear. You don't have to. Not yet. He traced my collarbone. Eyes distant. But I want to. For you. For this. His kiss was softer than, sealing the vow. New Year's Eve sealed it too. Fireworks over the East River. Us on a rooftop party in Dumbo. Champagne bubbles bursting on tongues. As the clock struck, he pulled me into a shadowed corner. the city exploding in color behind us. To us, he toasted, clinking bottles, then kissed me deep, uncaring who saw. Mia did, from across the roof, her wink approving. For the first time, the world felt big enough for this. January thawed the ice but not the intensity. We navigated the tightrope. Study dates in the library turning heated in bathroom stalls, his shifts ending with me waiting in the alley, pulling him into shadows for stolen breaths. Sex evolved from frantic to reverent. Lazy mornings with sunlight slanting gold across his skin. Me learning the arch of his back. The hitch in his breath when I whispered his name. Love you, he'd say post-climax. Casual as coffee, but it landed like lightning every time. Yet cracks spiderwebbed. My phone calls home grew sparse. Mom's voicemails edged worried. Call your mother, Nicholas. And Sarah asked about you. Brandon's family dinners turned tense. His texts curt. Dad's on a rampage about city pervs. Wish you were here. We leaned harder into each other, but isolation bred whispers. Jake cornering Brandon at work. You two attached at the hip or what? Mia's knowing glances sharpening to concern. Then came the betrayal's first tremor. Valentine's Day, a week early to dodge crowds. I'd planned it simple, picnic in Prospect Park. Heart-shaped cookies from the bakery down the block. A playlist of our songs, Springsteen. Of course. But Brandon bailed last minute. Emergency shift. Babe. Rain check. His eyes dodged mine. Phone buzzing insistent. Hurt stung. But I played cool. No worries. Kick-ass. Alone on the subway. Cookies crumbling in my lap. Doubt crept in. Was this the high fading, or something uglier? That night, he stumbled in late, reeking of whiskey and regret. Sorry, Nick. Boss called. I cut him off. Anger bubbling. It's fine, but it wasn't. We argued for the first time, small, stupid, about trust and time, but it left bruises. He slept on the couch. I stared at the ceiling, replaying his dodge. Morning brought apologies. Flowers swiped from the bodega. Makeup sex that erased lines but not the fracture. I'm in this, he swore, holding me close. All the way, I believed him. Because what else could I do? Love like ours was a wildfire. Beautiful, consuming, impossible to contain. But wildfires jump lines, and ours was about to leap. Spring semester hit like a freight train. Internships, capstone projects, the relentless churn of ambition. Brandon landed a gig at an upscale lounge in Midtown, slinging craft cocktails to Wall Street wolves. I buried in labs, circuits and code my escape from the mess in my chest. We adapted. Texts laced with innuendo during breaks. Weekend getaways to the Hamptons on a whim. Sand in our sheets and salt on our skin. One such escape. Late April. A borrowed car. Windows down. His hand on my thigh as we blasted down the coast. The ocean crashed turquoise. Gulls wheeling. And for hours, it was perfect, him sketching waves in the sand. Me snapping pics on my ancient Canon, capturing his profile against the horizon, wind-tousled and free. This is us, he said that night. Bonfire crackling, stars pricking the velvet sky. No hiding. No bullshit. We made love on a blanket, slow and unhurried, the world fading to the rhythm of breath and tide. Afterward, his head on my stomach, he murmured, what if we told people? Mia knows. Jake suspects. My fingers stilled in his hair. Yeah? And then we're real. His voice held a plea, the closeted kid peeking through. I kissed his temple. Soon, but soon stretched. May brought commencement buzz, seniors tossing caps, us juniors eyeing the finish line. A party at Jake's loft in Soho, thumping bass, bodies grinding, cheap beer flowing. Brandon and I arrived separate, a nod to caution, but our eyes locked across the room, pulling like magnets. Halfway through a red Solo Cup haze, I lost him in the crowd. Panic flickered, irrational, but sharp. I wove through clusters, past Mia's raised brow, until I found him, backed against the kitchen counter, laughing with a guy from his bar, tall, tattooed, the kind of effortless cool that turned heads. Their shoulders brushed, easy intimacy, and something in me iced over. Jealousy or projection? He saw me then, excusing himself with a clap on the guy's arm, too familiar. Nick, there you are. We slipped to the fire escape, city lights sprawling below like spilled jewels. Who's that? I asked, aiming for casual. Tyler. Coworker. Why? Just. Seemed cozy. He laughed, but it rang hollow. Jealous? Cute, then softer, pulling me close. Only you, idiot. The kiss dispelled it, hot and claiming, his hands framing my face. But as we rejoined the party, Tyler's gaze lingered, a shadow on the edge. Little did I know, shadows have teeth. June unfurled, humid and hazy, the city a steam bath of possibility and peril. Graduation loomed for our friends, but for us, it was a checkpoint, a chance to exhale before the real world sharpened its claws. Brandon's bar gig ramped up, late nights blending into dawn patrols. My internship at a tech startup in Flatiron meant code until my eyes burned, dreams haunted by algorithms and his touch. We compensated with ferocity, quickies in supply closets, his apartment key now a talisman in my pocket, our lives intertwining like vines. Yet the Tyler incident festered, a splinter I couldn't tweeze. I'd grill Brandon casually, busy night, and he'd deflect with a grin, but the doubt rooted. One sweltering Thursday, I caved. Texted Mia for coffee at a spot in the West Village. Outdoor tables shaded by umbrellas. Iced lattes sweating condensation. She arrived in a sundress and sarcasm, sliding into the chair with a smirk. Spill. Hail. You've got that kicked puppy vibe. I stirred my drink, ice clinking like accusations. Brandon. He's pulling away? Or am I paranoid? Mia leaned in, eyes sharp. Talk to me. What's got you twisted? The words poured. The party. Tyler's laugh echoing too loud. Brandon's late texts thinning to home soon. Feels like he's slipping, she sighed, sympathetic but stern. Babe, love's a minefield. But hiding, that's the real killer. You two need to own this, tell the world, or it'll eat you alive. Her advice stuck, pebble in my shoe. That night, Brandon dragged in at 3 a.m., collapsing beside me with a groan. Rough crowd. Tips were shit. I rolled toward him, propping on an elbow. Moonlight slanted through blinds, silvering his exhaustion. We need to talk. His body tensed. Classic deflection mode. About us. This. I gestured vaguely. The bed. The room. The unspoken. Mia's right. We're tiptoeing like thieves. He sat up, scrubbing his face. Nick, it's not that simple. Tyler's night. There. See? Tyler. A beat. Then defensiveness flared. He's a friend. Jesus. You're jealous of a straight guy. Is he straight? The question slipped. Venomous. Brandon's jaw tightened. Hurt flashing. What the fuck? Nick? You think I'm cheating? No, I mean, panic clawed. It's just. You're out late. Dodging. And he stood, yanking on sweats. Trust me? After everything. Voice rising, echoing off walls. I've been fighting for this, for us. While you play house with ghosts like Sarah. Low blow. Sarah had texted once. A tentative happy summer that I'd ignored. That's not fair. Neither is accusing me, he paced. Caged animal. You know what? Maybe we need space. The door slammed behind him, leaving silence like a bruise. I curled into the sheets, still warm from him, tears hot and unbidden. Space. In a city this small, felt like exile. He didn't come back till noon, takeout bag in hand, peace offering, greasy and familiar. Truce, he mumbled, avoiding my eyes. I nodded, throat tight. Truce. We ate on the fire escape, legs dangling over the alley, pigeons cooing below. Awkward at first, then tentative, his knee bumping mine, my laugh at his shitty joke. By evening, we were tangled again, apologies murmured against skin, forgiveness in every gasp. But the scar tissue remained, tender. July 4th weekend offered reset. A crew trip to the Jersey Shore, boardwalk lights and salt air calling. Jake drove, me a shotgun. Brandon and I squeezed in the back with coolers of beer. The ride was raucous, belting Springsteen, Jake's off-key harmonies. But Brandon's hand found mine in the dark, thumb stroking knuckles, private anchor. The house was a weathered bungalow in Asbury Park, sagging porch and ocean views. Days blurred into bonfires and brews. Volleyball on the beach, Brandon's spike sending sand flying, his grin sun-kissed, midnight swims, waves crashing as we kissed under stars, bodies buoyant and bold. One night, buzzed on s'mores and stories, Jake raised a toast. To the dreamers who'd have thought we'd make it, eyes met around the fire, Mia winking, Jake oblivious. Brandon squeezed my thigh under the blanket, bold. To more than surviving, back in the city, the high lingered, but reality nipped. My internship boss dangled a full-time offer, Silicon Alley stability, the kind mom would frame. Brandon's bar manager pushed for promotion, but it meant nights bleeding into oblivion. We could move, I suggested one sticky evening, fans whirring lazy. Bigger place. Ours. His smile faltered. Yeah, and tell the landlord we're. What? Partners. The word hung. Electric. Why not? He pulled me close. Kiss fierce. Let's do it. Exhilaration surged. We scoured Craigslist, dreaming over listings, lofts in Bushwick, studios with skyline views. But August brought storm clouds, literal and not. Hurricane remnants dumped rain for days, flooding subways, stranding us indoors. Curled on the couch, binging Queer as Folk, his pick. My reluctant dive into mirrors, we laughed at the drama. But it hit close. The coming out arcs. The betrayals that gut-punched. Think we'd make it through that shit? I asked, head on his shoulder. He kissed my hair. We already are. Then, the call that cracked the facade. Brandon's phone. Mid-movie. screen lighting his face ghost pale. Mom? Slow down what? I sat up, alarm spiking. He paced, voice low. No. Ma. That's not. Dad knows? How? The conversation stretched, his free hand raking hair, ending with a choked love you. Bye. He sank beside me, head in hands. Uncle Lou blabbed. Saw me with Tyler at the bar, assumed. Dad's losing it. Wants me home. Now. Shit. I rubbed his back, circles futile against the tremor. We'll go together. He shook his head, fierce. No. This is my mess. It's ours. But he shut down, retreating to the fire escape for a smoke I didn't know he still did. Rain sheeted down, blurring his silhouette. Hours later, he crawled into bed, body rigid. I can't lose them, Nick. But I can't lose you. You won't. Hollow promise. The drive to Newark was a funeral procession. Wipers slapping, radio static, his knuckles white on the wheel. The house was a split-level colonial, saint statues in the yard, Italian flag limp in the drizzle. His dad met us at the door, barrel-chested, mustache bristling, eyes narrowing on me. This the roommate? Brandon swallowed. Yeah. Nick. He's important. Dinner was a minefield. Mom's manicotti overcooked, Dad's silence a blade. Halfway through, it erupted, Dad slamming his fork. What the hell's this? Brandon, parading your friend around like it's normal. It's not parading, Dad. It's real, real. The word detonated. Mom gasped, crossing herself, Dad's face purpled. Over my dead body. This city's poisoned you. Fairy bullshit. I froze, fork midair. But Brandon stood, chair scraping. Don't. He's not the issue. Your hate is. The yelling escalated. Accusations flying. Tears from Mom. Brandon's voice breaking on I love him. Raw. Unfiltered. Dad lunged. But I was up. Hand on his arm. Mr. Russo. Please. Get out. He bellowed. But Brandon shoved between. Eyes blazing. Enough. We fled to the car. Rain lashing. Brandon's sobs muffled against my shoulder as I drove blind. Back in Brooklyn. He shattered, curled on the floor. Wrenching cries that echoed my own buried grief. I held him through it, whispering nonsense. You're enough. We're enough. Dawn found us spent, his head in my lap, decision forged in fire. Fuck them. I choose us, relief washed. But at what cost? His texts home went unanswered. Mom's voicemails pleaded, then silenced. Isolation deepened, our bubble shrinking. September semester started with a bang. Shared apartment hunt yielding a one-bed in Greenpoint, exposed beams and a view of the bridge. Moving day was chaos, boxes sweat-soaked, Jake hauling furniture with grunts and grins. Fancy digs. Lovebirds. He teased, winking. The word landed light. But Brandon stiffened, laugh forced. That night, christening the space. Candles flickering, takeout forgotten. A slow and sacred on the new rug. Home, he breathed, eyes locked on mine. But home cracked under pressure. My job offer solidified 6 figures, suits and schmoozing. His promotion meant managing the lounge. Schmoozing sharks. Schedules clashed. Exhaustion bred snips. Late again, I'd mutter. Breathe. Nick, he'd snap. The real fracture came mid-month. Tyler's birthday bash at the bar. Invite extended to the crew. I bowed out, deadline crunch, but curiosity gnawed. At 1 a.m., a text from Mia. Where are you? Party's wild. Bees hammered. Worry spiked. Cabbed over, weaving through velvet ropes and bass thumps. The lounge pulsed, suits grinding, strobes flashing, and there was Brandon, center booth. Tyler's arms slung casual around his shoulders. Shots lined like soldiers. Laughter boomed. Too loud. Too loose. Our eyes met across the floor. His widened, guilt flashing before shutters dropped. I turned, bolting to the alley, chest heaving against brick. Betrayal? Or my paranoia again? He found me minutes later, door banging. Nick! Wait! What the fuck? Voice raw. You said it was nothing. It's not. He reached, but I jerked back. Tyler's going through shit. Divorce. Needed a friend. Friend. Spit the word. With his hand on you like that? Jealousy twisted his face. And you show up uninvited? Don't trust me? The fight exploded. Yells echoing off dumpsters. Accusations ricocheting. His secrecy. My control. The fear we'd both buried. Maybe Mia's right, I hurled. Hiding's killing us. He recoiled. Pain raw. Then stop hiding. Call your mom. Tell Sarah. Own this. I stormed off. Subway ride a blur of regret. Home alone. I paced the new apartment, our apartment, emptiness mocking. Dawn brought his key in the lock. Face haggard. I choose you. Always. Forgiveness was fragile. Patched with talks till sunrise. Boundaries with Tyler. Honesty with friends. We emerged scarred but stronger. Vowing transparency. October gilded the leaves. Halloween a riot, us as Han and Chewie. His growl in my ear all night. But November whispered warnings. Mom's call. Voice trembling. Come home for Thanksgiving. Nick. We miss you. Guilt gnawed. Brandon's silence on family holidays a ghost at our table. The climax brewed slow, then erupted on a crisp All Saints' Eve. Jake's annual bash. Costumes. Kegs. The loft packed. We arrived as superheroes, Brandon Batman. Me Robin, his cape brushing my back. Promise in every glance. The night hummed. Dances pressed close. Shots shared. Mia's toasts lie. To capes and secrets. Midway. I lost him again, bathroom line too long. Panic flickered. But I found him on the roof. Tyler there too. Voices low. Brandon's hand on his arm. Comfort. Not flirt. Relief flooded. But Tyler's eyes met mine. Something unreadable. Later. Buzz fading. We stumbled home. His arm heavy around me. Love you, Robin. He slurred. Kiss sloppy. In bed. Tangled. He confessed drowsy. Tyler's coming out. Tonight. Needed me. Pride swelled. You were there for him. Yeah. Pause. Heavy. Like you'd be for me. Sleep took me gentle. But morning delivered the blow. Waking to an empty bed. Sheets cool. Wasn't unusual. Brandon's insomnia often sent him to the kitchen for coffee at ungodly hours. But the apartment felt off. No clatter of mugs. No hum of the grinder. Just silence. Thick as fog rolling off the East River. I padded out, yawning, only to freeze in the doorway. His phone lay on the counter. Screen aglow. Not locked. A rare slip. Notifications stacked. Mia's call me ASAP. Jake's dude WTF? And buried in texts. Tyler's name. Timestamped 4 a.m. Thanks for last night. Meant everything. Come over? My stomach plummeted. Heart hammering. I scrolled stupid. Invasive. But momentum unstoppable. The thread unfolded like a gut punch. Late night vents from Tyler. Brandon's I'm here. Man. Then escalating. Wish you were straight from Ty. Brandon's complicated with a winking emoji. Last night, roof talk was deep. Your place after? No. No. The pieces slotted, the dodges, the late shifts, the friend excuses. Betrayal bloomed, hot and nauseating. I dropped the phone like it burned, backing away as if it could detonate. The door clicked then, Brandon. He's jingling, face drawn under 2-day stubble. Nick, you up? He stopped, reading me like a storm cloud. What's wrong? I thrust the phone at him, voice steel. Explain. He glanced, color draining. Shit. It's not. Not what? You sneaking off at dawn to his place. Defiance flickered, then crumbled. He was wrecked. Coming out, family disowned him. Needed a couch. Not a couch. Bitter laugh. After all the nothing? You're full of shit. Brandon. He stepped closer, hands raised. I crashed on the sofa. Swear. Nothing happened. But you wanted it to. The accusation hung. Truth serum. His flinch confirmed it, the microsecond hesitation. The averted gaze. Nick. Please. It's you. Always. Liar. Rage-crested. Years of fear funneling here. You play the tortured closet case. But this is cowardice. Hiding behind friends, while I wait like a fool. Tears welled in his eyes. But I was beyond pity. Get out. He didn't move. Voice breaking. Don't do this. We can. Out. The yell echoed, shattering the fragile peace we'd built. He grabbed his jacket, door slamming like a period. Alone, I sank to the floor, sobs racking. Grief for the boy who'd whispered love in the dark. Rage at the man who'd tainted it. Hours blurred. Calls to Mia. Her I'm coming over. Tissues piling like evidence. She arrived with wine and wrath. That bastard. You deserve better. But better felt like ashes. Texts pinged, his apologies flooding. Let me explain. I fucked up. Love you. I deleted, blocked, the nuclear option. Sarah's old number tempted, a lifeline to normalcy, but I couldn't. Not yet. Days dragged into a week. Classes mechanical. Internship a haze. The apartment a tomb of ghosts, his hoodie on the hook. Our playlist mocking from the speaker. Friends rallied. Jake's awkward won a game. Mia's sleepovers with rom-coms and rants. He's spiraling, she confessed one night. Wine loose. Tyler's denying everything, but Brandon's wrecked. Blames himself. Pity stirred. Unwanted. Good, but nights were war. Dreams of his touch morphing to betrayal. Waking sweat-soaked, chest hollow. Mom called. Sensing fracture. Come home, baby. Holidays heal. Thanksgiving approached. A forced march to Ohio. The flight was turbulence inside and out. Turbulence that mirrored the storm in my gut. Mom hugged me fierce at the gate. Her perfume a time capsule of comfort. You look thin, Nicholas. And sad. Dump? I lied. Easy now. Dinner was tableau. Stepdad's grace over turkey, siblings chattering, Sarah absent but her shadow long. Post-feast, Mom cornered me in the kitchen, pie cooling on the sill. Talk to me. Is it that girl? Or something else? The dam cracked. Tears spilled as I confessed, halting, raw, the love, the labels, the loss. I thought he was it, Ma. The one. She held me, no judgment, just steady. Oh, honey. Love's not a straight line. It's a detour, full of potholes. But you're brave for feeling it. Her words lingered. A bomb. Back in New York. Resolve hardened. No more hiding. I came out piecemeal, Mia beaming. Jake shrugging, knew it. Bro. Internship boss nodding neutral. The weight lifted. Fractional but real. Brandon's silence stretched to 2 weeks. Then shattered. A knock at midnight. Rain-slicked figure on the stoop. I opened the door. Resolve wavering at his hollow cheeks. Eyes red-rimmed. 5 minutes, he begged. Please. Against better judgment. I let him in. He stood dripping in the hall. Words tumbling. I was an idiot. Tyler was a crutch. Lonely nights. Easy talk. But it never went further. I swear on everything. Doesn't matter. Voice steady, but heart wobbled. You broke trust. Us. He nodded, tears tracking. I know. And I'll spend forever fixing it, if you let me. Kneeling then, absurd and earnest. I love you, Nick. Not the idea. You, the mess, the laughs, the way you hum off-key in the shower. Marry me? Not now, but someday. Build this. The proposal, ringless, desperate, hung absurd in the lamplight. Laughter bubbled through tears. Mine. You're insane. Guilty. Grin flickering. Hopeful. I hauled him up. Kiss tentative. Tasting salt and second chances. Slow. We start slow. Relief crashed him against me. Sobs muffled in my neck. That night, he stayed on the couch. Boundaries firm, but morning brought coffee. His hand brushing mine. Tentative bridge. Rebuilding was glacial, therapy sessions, his idea. Couples counseling in a Chelsea walk-in. Date nights sans alcohol. Texts checking in. Tyler faded. Brandon cut ties clean. Clean break. Holidays healed fractured. My family visited for New Year's. Mom hugging him awkward but warm. His parents' Christmas card arrived and signed, but it was a crack in the wall. Spring bloomed tentative. Cherry blossoms in the park. Us picnicking with Mia and Jake. Hands laced open now. Sex returned. Not frantic but rediscovered. Learning trust in touches. Vulnerability in afterglow whispers. I'm bi. I told my mirror one morning. Then him over breakfast. And proud. He beamed. Kissing egg yolk lips. Fucking warrior. But climax loomed. Unbidden, June. Internship wrapping. Job offer in hand. Relocation to Seattle. Tech boom calling. 6 months trial. The email read. Opportunity of a lifetime. I told Brandon over dinner at our spot, the taqueria. Tacos unchanged. His fork paused. Face paling. Seattle? That's far. Yeah. Swallow hard. But it's huge. For us, stability. Future. His smile strained. And if I can't leave the bar? The city? Conflict crested. Familiar ache. Then what? I stay. Stagnate. You're choosing career over us. Accusation soft, but slicing. No, choosing a future. Together. Nights dissolved into talks. Pros/cons lists scribbled on napkins. Tears over wine. He wanted roots here. The bar his ladder to ownership dreams. I craved assent. The boy from Ohio proving he could fly. Don't make me beg you to stay, he whispered one dawn. Body curled into mine. I'm not making you choose. But I can't choose small. The fight built slow. Erupting in July heat. Suitcases half-packed. His voice cracking. Go then. But don't expect me to wait. Door slammed. Echo of November. Alone again. Seattle's pull ward with heartbreaks gravity. Mia's advice rang. Follow your heart, not the hurt. I chose flight literal to the Pacific Northwest. Last night in the apartment, he showed. Eyes haunted, arms wrapping tight. This isn't goodbye. See you soon. Kiss lingered, salt-tanged. Fight for us, I murmured. Dawn at JFK. His cab idling below, my boarding pass trembling. As the plane lifted, Manhattan shrinking to glitter, grief hollowed me. Betrayal's scar throbbed, but so did love's echo. Seattle was rain and reinvention, high-rise views of the sound, code flowing like therapy. Texts bridged the miles, his miss your snoring, my bar killing it, tentative threads. August brought his visit. Fog-shrouded walks, space needle spinning, nights reclaiming each other in hotel sheets. I quit the lounge, he confessed over salmon. Enrolling in culinary school. Here, shock, then joy. You're moving, for you. For us, grin crooked, ring box emerging, simple band, silver promise. Marry me? For real, tears blurred. Yes, but distance tested, his classes clashing with my deadlines, time zones tangling calls. October storm hit, a hurricane of miscommunications, his jealousy flaring over a work happy hour, my defensiveness spiking. Patterns repeat, he accused in a pixelated fight. You're pulling away. I'm building, yell echoing in my empty condo. For our life, the line went dead, silence deafening. Days of radio silence. Then his text, coming to talk. Face to face. He arrived in a downpour, airport pickup a blur of wipers and welcomes. Over diner pie, truth spilled. His fear of losing me to ambition's maw, my terror of smallness swallowing us. We're stronger fractured, I said, hand over his. But whole, unbreakable. November snow dusted Seattle, our first as fiancés. Ring glinting on coffee mugs, plans sketched for a spring wedding small, Brooklyn backyard, Mia officiating. His folks sent regrets. Stiff, mine, tentative yes. Human threads weaving. Yet climax crested unexpected. Christmas Eve. His phone buzzing insistent. Tyler's number. Unblocked in weakness. Emergency. Please. Brandon's face shuddered. Old ghosts rising. Don't, I warned. Heart icing. I have to know, he answered. Voice steady. But the call stretched. Tyler's sobs audible. A plea for old comfort. Brandon hung up. Decision etched. He's spiraling. But I'm not his savior. Pride swelled. We walked the waterfront. Lights twinkling on evergreens. His arm solid around me. Chose you, he murmured. snowflakes melting on lashes. The new year dawned golden. Culinary internships for him, promotion for me, our life a tapestry of compromise. Betrayal's shadow lingered, a reminder, not scar, but strength. Love, we learned, wasn't flawless arc, but jagged climb, conflicts forged in fire, emotions raw as winter wind, romance in the quiet rebuilds. In America's sprawl, from Brooklyn bricks to Seattle spires, we carved space. Humanistic, flawed, fiercely ours. No tidy bow, but a knot that held deep, enduring, real. Spring 2026 bloomed defiant. Cherry petals carpeting Seattle's paths like confetti for our chaos-tamed life. The wedding was a whirlwind. April 15th. A sun-dappled backyard in Greenpoint, rented on a whim, Brandon's compromise to roots. 50 guests. Mia in a killer pantsuit, emceeing with quips that drew laughs. Jake toasting with tears, to the guys who made bromance look bad. My mom, beaming beside stepdad, her hand squeezing mine during vows. Brandon's parents absent, but a card arrived and signed, but present, proud, in time. I stood at the arch, wildflowers twining iron, heart full as he walked the aisle, simple linen suit, grin splitting his face, eyes locked like anchors. Nicholas Hale, he vowed, voice steady, you caught me in the dark, and showed me light. I choose you, messy days, quiet nights, all of it. Tears pricked, mine echoed. Brandon Russo, you whispered truths I was too scared to hear. I choose us, fights and forgiveness, dreams and detours. Forever, the kiss sealed it, cheers erupting, petals raining, the city skyline winking approval. Reception blurred, barbecue ribs sticky on fingers, Springsteen covers by a garage band, dances under string lights where his head tucked under my chin, breath sinking to the beat. Husband, he murmured, the word new and nectar sweet. Honeymoon was impulsive. Amtrak to Portland, then road tripping the coast, craggy shores, clam shacks, nights in lighthouses where waves crashed like applause. We talked everything, kids, maybe, surrogacy dreams hazy, careers, his pop-up supper club budding, my tech lead solid, the what-ifs we dodged. Betrayal made us, he said one dusk, feet in surf, ring glinting copper. Taught me trust's a muscle worked daily. I nodded, arm around his waist. And love's the workout. Worth every ache. Back in Seattle, domesticity settled gentle. Our condo a nest of cookbooks and charging cables. Mornings with his espresso and my code reviews. Challenges nipped. His first kitchen disaster. Smoke alarm symphony. My boardroom nerves, but we navigated with humor. Hands clasped over hurdles. Summer brought milestones. Brandon's pop-up a hit. Critics raving soulful. Unpretentious. My project launch. Team toasts echoing his pride. Family mended slow. Mom's visit. Her and Brandon bonding over pie crusts. His folks' tentative lunch in Jersey. Dad's gruff looks good on you. Son over espresso. A bridge half-built. Fall deepened bonds. Pride in Capitol Hill. Rainbows on leashes as we marched hand in hand. His sign reading love won late, but loud. That night, bar hopping. Strangers' cheers felt earned. Our story, etched in strides. Winter whispered tests. My promotion demanding travel. His club expansion straining schedules. A fight flared over missed anniversary. You're gone again. But ended in airport reunion. his tackle hug dissolving to laughter. Patterns break, we vowed. Therapy a touchstone. By 2027, roots deepened. Adoption papers for a scrappy rescue pup named Indy, her chaos mirroring ours. Careers peaked. His restaurant Russo's redemption, Rhinaud. Packed nightly. My startup equity vesting. Financial freedom's key. Travels wove us. Ohio reunions. Jersey Shore escapes. A European jaunt where Venice canals echoed our early whispers. Betrayal's ghost visited rare. Tyler's random friend request. Ignored. Old doubts and stress spikes, but we faced them head-on. Journals shared. Vulnerabilities voiced. Humans messy. Brandon quipped over anniversary champagne. 5 years marked. But ours? Masterpiece. Kids entered the frame. Consultations. Hopes hatching for a boy with his grin. My curiosity. Mom's nursery quilts. His lullaby playlists. Family expanding. Circle widening. A decade on. 2035. Silver threads in his hair. Laugh lines bracketing my eyes. We stood on that Brooklyn fire escape. Visiting Mia's new place. City hum below. Unchanged. Remember the night? He asked. Arm around me. City lights pricking like stars. How could I forget? Kiss soft. Enduring. Caught you loving me. Best surprise. Life's arc bent humanistic. No fairy tale. But testament. Conflicts as crucibles. Emotions as fuel. Romance as verb. In America's vast quilt. From Rust Belt roots to emerald coasts. We stitched ours. Flawed. Fierce. Forever. And in quiet moments, his whisper echoed still. I love you, Nick. Not past, but present, killing nothing, birthing everything.